You know, thinking about Jade reminds me of how fickle music is, the industry, and how much of a carousel it is. Like one year you're hot, and then the next year, if there's like a delayed period of time when you're not making music, the next thing you know, the public consumer, the American consumer, has forgotten about you. And unfortunately, that's the reality. Now, Jade did have an impact because, I mean, whenever I hear Jade, I think of one particular song. It's their signature song, Don't Walk Away, you know? Um, but Jade was a trio, and they formed in the early 1990s, around 1990 or 1991. The group consisted of Dee Reed, Joy Marshall, and Tanya Kelly. And they came together in 1991 and formed the group Jade. And it was in 1992 that they were signed to Giant Records by producer Vassal Benford. Now, Benford, who was also a songwriter, had already written a song titled I Want to Love You. And he had Jade record that song uh, for him. And this song was released in late summer of 1992 and was featured on the Kid and Play film Class Act that year. And mostly because of the fact that film did very well and was very popular for certain segment. Kid and Play themselves being a musical act. This song peaked at number 16 in the United States. Now Jade quickly followed this up at the end of the year with "Don't Walk Away," which sped to number 4 on the singles chart and number 2 on the R&B chart, selling over 600,000 copies. Both tracks featured on their debut album "Jade to the Max," released at the end of November of 1992, and eventually gaining a platinum certification for sales of over 1 million. Now, at that time, their success had been confined to North America, but Bedford and Giant Records sought to promote the group in early 1993 throughout the rest of the world. While I Want to Love You had been their debut single in their home country, Don't Walk Away was promoted as their international debut, making the top 10 in many parts of Europe, including the UK, where it peaked at number 7 in April of 1993. I Want to Love You soon followed, making 13 there as far as ranking number 13, 3 places higher than its US chart high. The album reached number 43 that summer. Meanwhile, back home, the girls had released a down tempo number, One Woman, in early of 1993, which had made number 22 stateside and would equal this position when released in the UK in October. A fourth single, Looking for Mr. Do Right, made number 69 in America, and in late 1993, the girls teamed up with POV for the track All Through the Night, which bombed in the United States but reached number 32 in the UK, United Kingdom. After a short break, Jade returned in late 1994 with a brand new track, 5432 Your Time Is Up, which did even worse, reaching number 72. Much more successful was the second new track, Every Day of the Week, which put them back in the top 20 on both sides of the Atlantic, making number 20 in the States and number 19 in the UK in February of 1995. My, I'm guessing the reason why Jade was being pushed in the United Kingdom was because at that time Jade's style would be it would mesh well with the dance hall craze that was going on at that time in Europe, which eventually spilled a little bit over here. When I say dance hall, I'm talking about some of the crossover groups that did well over here, like for instance, What's their names? Give me a little time because I have to think about this. What was that group? What was that group that had that song? Be my lover, wanna be my lover, lover. Da, 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 dee, da, 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 da. With Melanie Thornton. Can't think of the name of the group right now off the top of my head. It's right there. Melanie Thornton unfortunately died in a plane crash. I think it was November of 2001. Um, but she and her bandmate had two signature hits. It was "Be My Lover" over here, and it was another one. Um, uh, I can't think of the other song, man. But groups like that, um, a lot of songs like "Rhythm of the Night" and that type of sound, I can understand how they think that Jade could mesh well over there with their music taste. That's probably why they're being promoted over there. Also, when you think about um, the music in '94 and '95, it was changing the taste. For instance, in hip hop, it was moving over toward more of a hardcore sound. Um, in the United States, they're a lot more fickle. Like one year, Jade is hot, and then the next year it's maybe like a group like SWV. Then the next year, Brownstone or whatever, Total. So I can understand why they probably tried to market and get the most out of Jade as possible. But subsequently, over time, Jade's uh, success, chart success, began to dwindle. Um, in 1995, the girls contributed to the track Freedom from the film Panther, which made number 45 on the singles chart, and in 1997 recorded the song Keep On Rising from the Six Man soundtrack. And that's about it. Um, After 1997, Jade no longer recorded music, although they never officially retired, and the girls went their separate ways. Since 1997, Dee Reed has worked as a backing singer and supporting vocalist for artists like Rod Stewart, Christina Aguilera, Gwen Stefani, and many others. Joy has recorded a gospel album and written a book about her experiences in the music industry, particularly with her with Jade. And Tanya has returned to her first love, interior design, setting up her own company, having gained a degree in interior and architectural design prior to joining Jade. So that's about it, as far as talking about Jade. So tell me what you guys think.